Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and I'm going to do a little Bitcoin and cryptocurrency update here, midday update, because we have Bitcoin is dropping pretty hard right now. It broke below that 8,000 level. You can see today it opened below 8,000. The previous close was 79.77. That was signaling more downside risk. Now it's testing the 7,500 level. If you just look at the linear chart here, you can see that the trend has been down, and it got up here and got that bounce up near the 10,000. It failed to break that level, and then it's been pulling back. You can see it's failing to break the descending resistance here. So what's going to happen likely if it fails to hold, I'll show you the next key support level, which is right here at this close. You can see there's a close and then a bounce off of that level. If this breaks right here, this dotted line, you could see a drop back down to test the recent lows. So you could see that 6,600 level retested. You know, it has with the descending resistance here, and then you've got horizontal support. You know, it has that descending triangle type of pattern, and then if it were to break below support, that would signal more downside risk. I'll show you more what I'm talking about here on this. This is the Bitcoin Bitstamp chart, and as you could see here, what happened was on this candle on the 20th, it got back above EMA's 4 and 8, and it got back above the 300, which is the blue line, and the 50-day simple moving averages, which is the green line. They're all converged here, and so this candle, people got all pumped up that it was ready to go, but the big level to break was EMA 13. Okay, and so that's currently at what is that at 8,328. That's the orange line there, and see how it failed to break that level. That was the top before, and so notice these upper wicks hit that level and failed to break. It needed to close above that level for confirmation that it was actually going to reverse. It failed to do that and pulled back. Now this close on the 21st back below the 50-day simple moving average was a red flag, and then yesterday was the huge red flag. It opened up below the 50-day simple moving average, and it broke 300-day simple moving average support. It failed to hold the key support level, the blue line. That's major downside risk. Now it's breaking below the key support from the current little channel here, right here, this closing price on the 17th. It needed to hold that level, and yesterday when it closed below, that signaled more downside risk. And then today I put out alerts that this zone over here was the big resistance level to hold, which is you can see all these candles were hitting this level right around 7,895, you know, that 7,900 level. And so when it dropped below that level today, that set up this drop that you're seeing right now, and it's heading right to it, and that's over here on the 3rd of April. You can see this close, and so that's the next line of defense. If it fails to bounce off the 7,400 support zone, what's likely to happen is it comes all the way down and it tests the 6,600 at some point. I mean, there's trading all in here, and it's likely to, you know, get bounces going, and you know, but this is a sustained downtrend, just like this was a sustained uptrend. You know, right now the bears are in control, and if you're seriously looking to trade this for an extended period of time, you might want to wait until it gets back above resistance, or you could try to play the bounce. Just know that holding anything, including Bitcoin, long in a long position when it's closing below EMA's 4 and 8, the pink and lime lines, you are taking on risk, especially when it's closing below EMA 4. You can see that it's been riding that level lower. When it was bullish, it was riding that level higher, the pink line, and so right now the bears are clearly in control. And so yeah, look at 7,400. If that breaks, you know, the downside risk is it goes all the way down to test that 6,600, and then if the 6,600 fails to hold, then you're in trouble, because you know, that was the key support level. If we pull out the chart a little bit, you can see back over here, and see, this is the big support level for this April bounce. But when you go back to the February bounce, you know, that's where it found support. And so that 6,600 is a crucial zone. If it broke below, the downside risk is you have to pull out the chart further, and then you're going to have this level right here at 58.9 would be the next key below that if that were to break. And yeah, let's see right here real quick. Yeah, right there. So that's going to be the next key level at 5879. If that 666, you know, if the dreaded 666 level breaks, or 6600, and then you know, if that broke, then you know, it would just signal more downside risk. So you have the you know, like a descending. I know I've got a lot of lines on this. I'm sorry, this chart I've been working on for a while. Yeah, so it's got this descending resistance thing going on here. Okay, so you have multiple top. You have a top, top descending resistance, and then you have horizontal support, and right now it's trying to hit the horizontal support from here in April, and if that broke, then you know the triangle would put it all the way down to that 6,600 level. So yeah, so yeah, let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash is dropping like a rock. Drop it like it's hot. It's down 14%. I mean, come on. Bill Gates came out and said that he would short Bitcoin, and then the Winklevoss twins tested him and said, "Come on, Bill, put your money where your mouth is." And he's the second richest man in the world. I'm not saying that Bill Gates is necessarily shorting it. It's just ironic that he made the comments and it's been tanking. And it's very similar to when Warren Buffett came out and said that he bought a big stake in Apple and you should buy stocks. Everybody jumped in the stock market and it ran up to these new all-time highs, and so, or you know, made a nice rally. Some stocks like Apple, you know, are hitting these new all-time highs, and so you know, the same thing can be said with cryptocurrency. If you have the second richest man in the world saying that this is a scam and that you should dump it and short it, you know, it looks like investors are taking note, and maybe some of his billionaire buddies are having fun, you know, making the same drop. Not saying that's happening, just throwing out some theories just to get people riled up, you know, just to be thinking about it. You know, it just when you have somebody as powerful as Bill Gates saying to short Bitcoin, that's not good for Bitcoin. All right, so it's heading lower. It's below the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages here, the gold and green lines, and now it's hitting 973 here, and so it has to hold that level. If it dropped below, then you're looking at you know, a potential drop down here to the this 894 level. That would be the next key support. You know, you have support going on right now, right here at this key level that it's trying to bounce off of. So it needs to bounce off of 975. That's the big support level. You can see that was the close and the open here, you know, and so if it drops below, then you have to go down to that next close, which is going to be down here at 894. So as long as the candles are riding below EMA's 4 and 8 resistance, the signal is to either be short or on the sidelines. You don't want to be long trying to catch the falling knife when candles are riding lower. You know, just like back here, when you can see how long the downtrends can go. When it's below EMA's 4 and 8, it just heads lower, 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 and then when it got above, it was riding higher. So right now the train is heading lower. This isn't a very big candle, so you know, we'll have to see if it starts finding support. This is a big zone to find support. You can look back here. You know, this was a level that it found support back here in February, you know, and January. So what you're looking at basically is that 894 to you know, that 860 level. What is that? 880 to 890. That was the low from these other bottoms. Otherwise, you know, these cryptocurrencies could come down and retest the lows. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum's getting crushed today, and this is supposed to be the legit one. You know, with their blockchain technology, I mean, all the, you know, it seems like people are very bullish on Ethereum, and so it's unfortunate that everything trades together in crypto land currently, and so there's not really many that are. There are some that are doing their own thing, but most are following each other, and so they're getting pulled down when Bitcoin and the big dogs are getting pulled down, and Ethereum, you know, is arguably, you know, one of the top, you know, they are the top, you know, cryptocurrency out there. And so having it break below that 200-day simple moving average yesterday and the 100-day simple moving average, the golden red lines, that was a major red flag. And then today it broke below the 50-day simple moving average. It broke below 616, that 617 level. So right now it's getting ready to hit the blue line, which is the 300-day simple moving average at 556. So it has to hold this level. This is crucial that it bounces right here. You know, if it fails to find support in this zone, then, you know, you could see a pullback further. You know, that would just signal way more downside risk. You know, this is the 300-day simple moving average is the bottom moving average when stocks are trading above and they're really bullish. You know, this broke out above all the moving averages over here, and now it's breaking back below. You can see it really got going over here on the left when it got above the 300, and so if it drops back below, that's going to be really bearish. You know, it could consolidate further. You know, the risk is if it drops below the 300-day simple moving average and fails to hold this this key support zone, then it could go back down and retest the lows. So that's the big thing. It has to hold this 550 to the 560 support zone. If it were to drop below, you know, you could possibly see those 300s come back. I mean, that's how the charts work. You know, it could come down here and bounce off of this. This is the key level. This is the crucial level. If it's gonna bounce, this is gonna be the spot. And if it doesn't, then the chart is severely broken. So keep that in mind. Last time it got into this type of situation was back here in March, and it closed below the 300-day simple moving average, and it ended up making a drop from up here at 490 all the way down to 360. So that's what can happen. And so yeah, let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin is dropping very hard as well. It wasn't as bullish yesterday. It closed below the 300-day simple moving average. That's the blue line. It already got below the 50-day simple moving average. That was your red flag. Notice how it kept failing to get above the green line. Notice how the candles are writing EMAs 4 and 8 support higher. There's just no reason to be a bull when the charts are like this. You just have to wait until it turns bullish. You know, I mean, why watch your money disappear? And you know, when you can get reload levels lower. So right now it's all about this 113 level, this 112.80. It has to hold this zone. If it fails, if Litecoin fails to bounce off of 112 to 113, that's going to be a major red flag. I mean, that would be very, very bad news for Litecoin holders, because you could see a drop down to 104 down here. That would be the next key support level, and then it could get down below 100. So this is a really big level. So yeah, it's just crazy that they are driving it down so hard. Notice how it broke below the February support here today, and so that's a red flag, and now it needs to hold this March-April support zone. This was huge support, so it should get a technical bounce. This is, I mean, look how many times it bounced off this level. So after this big pullback, look for a technical bounce off of this this 112, 113 level. If it fails to hold, you could see it drop below $100. Okay, let's look at Ripple. Ripple has the same type of scenario going on. You know, it's riding EMAs 4 and 8 resistance lower. When it broke below the 200-day simple moving average, the red line, that was your big red flag. And then it got below on the 10th of this month, below the gold line, that was the 100-day simple moving average. And then it broke below the 50-day simple moving average. And then finally, when that 50-day simple moving average broke on the 17th, you know, it was really signaling the chart was broken. It barely tested the 300-day simple moving average, the blue line. It just broke right through it today. Notice the big volume spike. So it looks like you do have some, people are probably capitulating, and then you have other people that are trying to play the bounce at the same time. And so, you know, one person's trash is another person's treasure. You know how that works. And so, yeah, it needs to hold this support zone here that's right around 57, 58. Because if it fails to hold, the downside risk is you get a drop down here to the to this 47 level. You know, you get what would happen is if the candles keep riding EMA's 4 and 8 resistance lower and it fails to hold this 57 to 58 support zone, you know, you're likely to get a retest of the lows. I mean, the bears will likely be able to take it down there as a, you know, what could happen, what would be best is that they don't retest the lows, because then they could be making a higher low and they could push off from that. Because if they come down and retest the lows from April, that's going to be a major technical red flag, signaling that the charts are completely broken. I mean, it's normal to have a Fibonacci retrace, but you don't want a 100% retrace. You know, if they could go 67%, that would be great. You know, that would be a very strong reversal. But once it gets below that and you're looking at 100% full retrace, then the chart's completely broken. So you know, they have still a potential to make a higher low, but right now it's looking pretty dangerous. Yeah, as you can see here, the downside risk is, okay, look at the significance of 47. All right, because 47 was that big support level. You know, if it fails to hold that 47, then you're talking about free falling. You know, it could go all the way back down to this 28 level. So 47, 58. Two crucial levels needs to hold, okay? Because you have, it's got the downtrend going. You know, you could just draw the descending resistance line across the tops here, right? And then, yeah, and so you have descending resistance, and then, yeah, and so you do have a channel here that's going like this, and yeah, that's the unfortunate downside risk here, everybody. Is it could be headed to the bottom of that channel, you know, and so yeah, that's the downside risk. It double topped up here, right? It failed to break this key resistance zone in the 90s, and then now it's down here. And if it fails to hold 47, you're looking at a drop down to 32, which is the bottom of this downtrending channel. Okay, so it helps to draw the trend lines in, and then you can really see what the playing field looks like. And so let's look at a couple more here. ADA, this has been completely devastated. Look how they're driving it down. I mean, yeah, once it gets below EMA4, you can see right up here on the third, that was your signal to sell. You know, it was riding EMA4 higher. It gets below, exit. Like, you can't mess around with these cryptos right now. You know, look how strong the downtrends are. And so it's below the 50, the 100, the 200-day simple moving averages. This hasn't been trading for very long, so there's no 300-day simple moving average. But as you can see here, if it fails to hold the support zone that it's hitting right now, it could possibly come down here and test the lows down here at 1.8, and then it could, you know, then you have this low right here. You got support right here, and so this 2.3 and that current 2.6, those are all key levels. So if it breaks through this 2.6 level, you can see where that was support, and it's trying to hold that. Then you're looking at 2.3 and possibly 1.8. If it got below 1.8, it would be severely broken. Okay, then finally, let's look at TRX. Now, this was the one that was bucking the trend, and it was doing better. And I posted that in the last video, because notice how it came down. It's above the 50, the 100, the 200-day simple moving averages. The candles were riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher after the bounce. You know, it held up much better than all the other cryptocurrencies. So it has, you know, it's been performing better. You know, the other ones, notice how they were all going down, and this is heading up. So this has got it has a better pattern. But today, unfortunately, key support is breaking, and so you have to be ready to locking in some gains if you know, if you're a trader and it's and you don't want to hold during a pullback, which a lot of people don't want to do. Is you know, you could see here descending resistance. Okay, hit that and it failed to break. And so what happens when that happens, you get a pullback, and it could come down and retest the bottom, which would be down here. You always go by the low candle. And so you could get retraced down here to 772, and then possibly down to this 50s simple moving average down at 77, down here at 7.3, 7.4, this green line. And so if it closes today below EMA's 4 and 8, the pink and lime lines here, A83 zone, that's going to signal downside risk, and it could consolidate on you. Okay, thanks for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more, come check out our chat. I'll post the link below the video. When you get in the chat, send me a direct message, and then I'll get you into the premium channels. Thank you.